Can you take your miniature painting brushes from this to this in just a matter of minutes? So, let's talk about how to save your brushes, when it might be too late, and what not to do to get to a point like this. Okay, we've all been there. Been using a brush for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden it starts acting up.
Hey, bitch!
And start acting all weird when you're painting. Heck, it might even look like this one, with a layer of freaking gunk in the ferrule of the brush. So, how can we fix this? Well, in the best of worlds, we take care of our brushes. We make sure that every time we add paint to the brush, we load it as it's intended to be loaded. And never, and I mean never, dip the brush too far deep into the paint pot. But let's be honest with ourselves, we're all Steves at some point in our lives. So how do we fix this problem? For one, it depends on which brushes you're using. Because if we're painting with natural hair, like Kolinsky Sable, it has a natural hair product that's similar to your hair, needs natural oils to work perfectly. And if we use too strong solvents, it's gonna dry out. So it's a little bit more sensitive on how you clean it. And if we're using synthetics, some solvents might even melt some of that plastic in the hairs. If you've got a brush that just acts a little bit funky, but maybe doesn't look quite as bad as this one does, the absolute easiest way to clean it and get it ready for painting again is just to use a regular brush soap. Or maybe even regular shampoo for your hair. It's not too strong for the hairs, and the brush cleaning soaps have some moisturizing in it that helps revitalizing your brushes back to their former glory. Personally, I like to add water to the brush and just spin it around on the brush soap. You'll quickly start seeing all kinds of gunk coming out of the bristles. And the more often you do this after the painting session, hopefully the less problems you're gonna have over a longer period of time. And even better yet, maybe you don't even get to that point where the brushes are completely unusable. The only thing that is important if you clean with brush soap is that the next time you use it, make sure to rinse it properly before you start adding paint, because you do not want to paint with soap, you want to paint with paint. If your Kolinsky Sable or synthetic brushes are much worse for wear, they are beyond what is reasonable for a paintbrush to be ruined. There are stronger types of cleaners and solvents, but which one is the best? Well, I hope we're gonna figure that out in this video. Our goal needs to be, we want to dissolve all the paint, get all the gunk out of your brushes, but not ruin any of the hairs, or use stronger solvents that maybe dissolves the glue inside the ferrule or destroys the hairs so they're so dry you're never gonna be able to use them again. When it comes to Kolinsky, I'm not too worried about them getting too dry, especially this one. I bought it 7 years ago and I've used it to mix in my airbrush cup. Not great, but if I manage to get all the paint out and I can get some natural oils back into it, we might be able to save it. With synthetics, however, we cannot use stronger solvents that melts the bristles. So let's see how the different versions do. And all of these brushes, they have glue inside of the ferrules holding the hairs together. And if we start dissolving that, the hairs starts moving around and then it hardens back again. The hairs might be going all kinds of different ways and we don't want to see that. So we've got a couple of things to keep in mind when we test these cleaners. But hopefully, at the end of this video, we've got something amazing that's easy to use and that is reasonably harsh on the brushes. So let's dive into the 4 options I'm going to show you guys today. Green Stuff World Paint Stripper, Biostrip 20, Vallejo Brush Cleaner, and Isopropyl Alcohol. We've got some absolute crazy amount of poorly treated brushes in this office, so let's just dive in to the first one and try Biostrip 20. Biostrip has been one of our absolute favorite ways to dissolve paints on minis without melting the plastic. We put some Biostrip on the brushes and make sure that it goes all the way into the core of the brush and leave it there for about 30 minutes. Once it's been in there for 30 minutes, let's try and clean it all out. And I guess while we do, let's let's talk about this week's sponsor, Into the AM. Okay, now obviously this is a sponsored part, but I want to speak directly from the heart because I've always had troubles with buying t-shirts and wear that I think fits really well. Of course, I'm quite a tall guy, 195 or 6'5" cheeseburgers, and it's really made my life a lot easier because now when I pick shirts from my wardrobe, I know that pretty much all of them fit perfectly. Because I've washed this specific t-shirt probably 20 times already, and it still has a freaking perfect fit. And I can't say that's something that other brands have been able to do for me. Now they obviously make some of the best graphic t-shirts on the internet, and me personally, I love these ones with the small print. But I'm digressing, because the thing is, they've decided to make it their mission to not use AI for any of their t-shirt artwork, meaning that there's real artists and real people behind every single design that they release. And that is something that I want to support. And with their new campaign, you can buy 3, 6 or 9 packs of basic tees and save up to $130. You don't have to look like a slob, Steve. Now back to the video. We can now clean all of it out, both using water but also using a piece of tissue to get everything inside of the brushes out. Because we've now dissolved all the paints but we can't re-add the Biostrip, I'm also using a bit of brush cleaning soap just to get the last gunk from the core out. And if we take a look at the close-up from before and after, well, we managed to get pretty much everything out of these brushes. I would say pretty great success. This bad boy worked pretty good both for the synthetic hair as well as the natural hair. But keep in mind, these are quite strong cleaning agents, and if you're using them in a room that doesn't have any ventilation, it might cause you to get a headache, which it did for one of our editors actually. So when we continue doing this test, especially for this one and the next one we're gonna try to put it in a room that's well ventilated, where we don't sit and paint normally. Time for number 2, the Green Stuff World Paint Stripper. Similarly to the Biostrip, the Green Stuff World Paint Stripper has been literally awesome for us to strip paint. However, it's also been almost too strong, because when we cleaned some paint off resin minis, the minis turned out soft, like they became like squidgy, which is a side effect that's maybe not optimal. So let's see how well it works with the brushes. Let's leave the bristles in a bath for about 60 minutes and see where it leaves us. I have these glass bottles and make a sort of contraption because I don't want the tips of the brushes to touch the bottom of the glass bottle. So I use a pen, some tape to make an arrangement so it just lies inside of the cleaning agent without touching the bottom. We don't need the bristles to get even more bent and destroyed than they already are. The Green Stuff World cleaning agent does clean the bristles really, really well. However, it did make the synthetic brushes feel a bit weird, almost as if some of the hairs had started melting together. So I think we're gonna do another test, and while we test some of the other cleaning agents, let's put them in for, 3 or 4 hours and see if they actually melt the bristles together even more, or if it was just that sample of brush that was bad. Sometimes we might have just made the brushes bad over the years with glue and stuff. But let's see at the end of this video what our final conclusion will be, because it did make the brushes clean. The question is just, does it melt the plastic or not? We've now got one that I have been using a bit in the past. Similarly to the Green Stuff World Cleaner and Biostrip, we want to leave the bristles in this gunk for about 30 minutes at least. We then use the brush soap to get any of the remaining gunk out, and bada bing, bada boom, the brushes are starting to look really clean. I don't know if this is true, but the brush cleaner is specifically made to clean brushes, which makes me draw the conclusion that maybe this is more gentle for the hair, but I also don't know for sure. Because honestly, I couldn't tell much of a difference. It does clean out the ferrules, and the brushes are still usable afterwards. And finally, we've got the trusted favorite, Isopropyl Alcohol. This is the thing that we use to clean our airbrushes on the daily, which also means that I have it easily accessible at all times when I'm painting. But before I exactly show you how good it is to clean, I'm just gonna ask one favor, because Lucas and I were on a mission to hit 1 million subscribers, and YouTube, for some reason, has a tendency of unsubscribing people. We often get comments of people who are like, "Hey dude, I thought I was subscribed, but for some reason, YouTube says I'm not." So, we'd greatly appreciate if you go down there, make sure that it actually says that you are subscribed, and if it doesn't, just gently tap it, and then we'll move on and get closer to 1 million. We'd greatly appreciate it. So, the thing that I'm going to do now, I'm just gonna add a little bit of this into a medicine cup. Boom. I'm going to dip the entire thing inside of this. Just make sure that it can get properly in there, loosen some of that paint up until we removed all of the paint inside of the ferrule. Let's see if we can actually remove all of the gunk inside of it. Obviously now the IPA is a very strong solvent. It dries out the hairs a lot. And we've been lucky to have been to a brush factory, and they generally do not recommend this type of cleaner because it dries out the hairs so much. But I figured if the brushes are fucked beyond saving anyway, it doesn't hurt to try to clean it with these stronger solvents. Because what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? If we can save one and then maybe ruin one even more, it doesn't really matter. But as you might have seen, we managed to get pretty much all paint out of these ferrules. On the synthetic, well, it was pretty freaking amazing. On a medium ruined brush, it was pretty freaking amazing too. However, on the Kolinsky brush that I used for airbrush cleaning, this one, I didn't manage to get everything out, and some of the hairs were just too bent out of place to be able to use again as it is. But we are going to use some hair oil now and just revitalize some of these natural hairs. And then hopefully we can try it out to see if we can still use them even if there's a little bit of paint left in the cup. So we got some hair oil here. Okay, we just finally got the last brush back from the Green Stuff World paint remover, and I must say, the bristles are clean. They are incredibly clean. However, the fumes from the paint remover have also removed the paint from the handle itself, which, in my book, not great. The handle feels kind of sticky now. Also, we do feel like it does change the properties of the hair just a tiny bit, very, very slightly. So I do think you can use this if you are a bit more careful. Maybe don't do 30 full minutes, maybe it's enough with 10 minutes in the cleaner. Personally, because I have IPA next to me at all times, I think this is the one that I'm going to end up using most of the times anyway, even though all of the cleaners worked. And what do I think about the hair oil to revitalize the brushes? Well, oil is kind of hydrophobic. It has a tendency of pushing water away. And if the bristles are too oily, well, it is not gonna work as a normal Kolinsky Sable does. So, if you've used the hair oil, you're probably gonna have to rinse the brushes properly, maybe use some more brush soap again. So there's a lot of this back and forth to kind of find the perfect balance between when a hair is good in its natural oils and when it's too dry or when it's super dry and needs moistness. Another good thing you can use if you don't want to go full on with this and have to then go back and forth between the oil and brush soap is to just use a conditioner, a regular hair conditioner. This is one of those things that also revitalizes the brushes a little bit and is a little bit easier to handle than the oil. Now, we've had a couple of hours to try the brushes again, and while a lot of them are totally usable again, finally. Some of the worst ones, like the Kolinsky Sable brush that I used as an airbrush cup mixer, is not great again. Like, it is 10 times better than it used to be because the hairs went all kinds of crazy ways. I would say it's about 70% of its former glory, like when I first purchased it. Which means that maybe if you have some youths in your community and they need brushes, cleaning up your old brushes and gifting them to those that cannot afford expensive Kolinsky Sable, this is probably going to be a good alternative. Get them cleaned up, get some oils in there, and then use them again. When it comes to synthetics, however, they are a little bit more difficult to get back to shape for two different reasons. Number one, the tip of synthetic hairs are super thin, like super duper thin, and it's made from plastic. So if you've started using it as a stipple brush or for making bases and dry brushing on rock stuff, it's very likely that your hairs are gonna be frizzy because the tips are getting bent and broken. In such a small amount that you might not be able to see it with your eyes, but if you take them under a microscope, you're gonna see it super clearly, like on these clips from Goober Town. If it's just paint in the ferrule or just a slightly hooked tip, you might still be able to save it, because this Escoda synthetic looks almost like new again. And this one we cleaned with IPA. And if you want to remove that tiny hooked tip, well, we can probably use some hot water to get it to bend back. Because these are produced under very high temperatures. And if we reintroduce that high temperature, it has a tendency of going back to its original shape. If the brush is already frizzy though, like this one, even if we manage to get every single paint drop out of this one, it's still gonna be quite unusable, and you can probably relegate it to an airbrush cup mixer or a dry brush. So, as a conclusion, is it worth cleaning your brushes, especially your more expensive ones? Well, I absolutely think so, especially using just brush soap once a week or so to get the worst gunk out, and restore your brush with a conditioner or a little bit of hair oil. They might not come back to perfect again, but maybe you'll get them to 80–90%, and that should be enough for you to at least use them for some of the regular base coating stuff, and save your super fancy brushes for your competition pieces. Now, all of you guys might be asking, Emil, when is the new Squidmar brushes coming out? Well, it's just a couple of weeks left now. We're still waiting on the American government to give us that final approval. And if you want to sign up to be notified when the campaign goes live, you can head on to our website and sign up to the newsletter, and you'll be the first ones to know when we have our dream Kolinsky brushes and synthetic brushes ready for release. Massive thanks to this week's sponsor, Into the AM. And of course, our amazing patrons. You guys are legends! Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.